Hey, hey, this is Quality Life Coach for women in their 50s and beyond. What's going on? I'm so excited to be here. Yay. Okay, let me tell you something that happened to me this morning before I begin that just made my day. So, after I worked out this morning, if you've been following me online now, okay, so this is the other thing. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. So, if you're not following me in both of those places, follow me. I have the links down below. So after working out, I haven't worked out in, my goodness, 5 weeks. I hadn't worked out in 5 weeks. So I went to the gym yesterday. Oh, and let me just tell you, today I am sore, but it's okay. You know why? Because it's worth it. But this is the thing that happened. After working out, I decided to go over to Publix and get a few things for lunch to prepare lunch for later. I'm going to make Tuscan salmon for my boys and my king, who is my hubby. I affectionately call him my king. And so I went into Publix, and as I walked in, there was a lady there. And listen, if you're on, just say hi or something. I'd love to connect with you. And so I got in. I went into Publix. It was probably about 7:15, really early in the morning. And this lady said good morning to me. And she worked at Publix. And I just said, "How are you?" You know, and I, gave her a really big smile. And this was her response. She's like, "Oh my goodness, I am loving your smile." It took me back. I was like, wow, that just I'm telling you, it made my day. Oh, and for those that don't, I love to smile. So when I can smile, which I think is such an easy thing to do, and it can benefit someone else, I mean, just like heartwarming to hear. All right, so that's what happened to me this morning. That was it for me this morning. But I really came on here to really talk about, when you hit your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, it can be challenging to it can be challenging trying to achieve your goals. And you run into issues where people might make comments like, "Why do you want to do that? Don't you think you're too old to be doing that? Do you think that's appropriate for your age? Women your age don't do blank, 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 fill in the blanks." There are just so many negative comments that people just feel it's okay just to share with you because you're older. And I'm on a mission to really change and challenge the negative stereotypes that are out there for women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. Because, I mean, let's think about this though. If in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, you're still living, you're still breathing, you still have a lot to achieve. And so, why do you now have to, because of your age, now decide you can't wear certain clothing, you can't go after your goals, you can't travel, you can't start a business? Like, why do we want to restrict ourselves in that way? And today I really want to talk about some of the things that will help you overcome some of those things. Now, I'm not going to be able to prevent people from telling you stuff that you don't particularly like, which will happen, but coaching will help you probably understand it a little bit more and help you manage yourself, because you can't really control the other person. I mean, think about it. The other person can do whatever they please. And it's not a license to say that people will just be nasty. I'm just letting you know that ahead of time, there are going to be people that won't like what you're doing. That's just the way it is. So anyway, one of the things I tell my clients when I start working with them, and this is the number one thing, everyone needs to do this before they even start, whenever they have a goal, it's important for you to it's important for you to believe in that goal. Even if you don't believe in it 100%, you have to have some type of belief. And what I normally tell my clients is, if you can't believe in it fully, are you willing to in believing that you're becoming that person that believes it? Because I'm telling you, our brains want to know these things ahead of time. And so if you go in thinking, "Oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to achieve it," your brain is not going to provide any type of resources or creativity from your brain to help you achieve that. Like seriously, your brain is going to shut down and say, "Well, it's not going to happen anyway. Why bother?" I want you to be able to be in that space where not only are you believing it, but if you don't believe it fully, you're open to the idea of believing it. So, in other words, you could have a thought like, I'm open to the idea that this will happen for me. I'm open to believe that this is possible for me. Even if you don't quite believe it, you are open to believing that it's possible for you. And I think that's the first step. Because I'm going to tell you this, if you don't believe it's not going to happen, like seriously, if you do not believe it, because when you believe something, you show up in a very different way. And when you don't believe something, it's like it's all done. So I really want you to really think about that. So, and one of the things I find out from my clients ahead of time to help us as we achieve their goal, because my goal, what I do as a life coach, is I help women in their 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond achieve their childhood dreams, whatever that is, in 12 weeks. Whether it's to travel, to write a book, to start a business, to improve their relationship with their spouse, or improve the relationship with their parents, or improve their relationship with themselves, or be able to say no when they mean no, and yes when they say yes, and not give in because of other people's demands and expectations, and just really being able to live their life fully. I come across so many women who are living their life with the diluted version of themselves. And I want more women being able to live their lives in full color, not black and white. Yes, full color. And one of the questions I ask my clients when I begin to work with them is I assess their energy type. And I think that's important because when you know the kind of energy type that you have, it will help you as you achieve your goals. Listen, not everyone is going to be like me where I'm like, go, 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 go. There are some people like, for me, I'm like the sprinter. I am like on it. Like, let's go, let's go. There are other people who are like the jogging type, like they kind of take their time. And then you have the walkers that like, Don't rush me, please." They're like taking their time. And then you have sometimes a mix. And so being able to understand what kind of energy level you operate in predominantly, you might have a mixture, but there is normally a predominant energy type that you have that's your default. And being able to understand what that is important as we achieve your goals, as we work towards achieving your goals. Because if you're not the sprinter type, I'm not going to give you da, 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 da. No, it's going to overwhelm you. You're going to be like, no, can't do it. So it's important to understand that because I want to support you fully while working with you. And so if you're out there trying to achieve your goals and you don't have a coach and you're trying to do it on your own, something to think about, like, what is your energy type? You want to support yourself in the midst of trying to achieve your goals. So that's something to think about. The next one is, what are your aging core values? And this is very important because sometimes we think, oh, yeah, these are my values. We have these values in our brain. We have these values that we are like, oh, yeah, these are my values. But we don't live out our values. So, in other words, if you were to tell someone the values that you have, and someone else was listening nearby, they'd be like, I don't think so. Her outlook in life does not reflect that. Someone close to you will be able to tell you that. And so my goal with all my clients is to make sure that their aging core values are supported while we work together. you know, and people have different core values. And listen, don't let anyone shame you about your aging core. Your aging core values are your aging core values. What matters to you is important. Don't let anyone diminish the value of what it is that is valuable to you. And I also I want you to explore the idea of value dependent. See, when we're younger, we have very different core values. Sometimes they change, sometimes they remain the same as we get older. And sometimes we have to evaluate to see if those core values are still true for us. I was working with a client, probably about maybe almost a year ago. And one of her core values at the time, well, for a long time, was based on the way she looked. Like for her, it was so important she looked a certain way. And that was a value that that was important to her. Now, what ended up happening was over the years, her body changed. She changed. And some of the questions that I got into with her was, do you still want that to be something that you're dependent on? Do you still want that those values to be something you depend on? And sometimes we have to have those hard truth conversations with ourselves because as we change, our values might differ. Like I know when I was much younger, looking good was important to me. But guess what? I still want to look good, but you know what's way more important to me? Feeling good. And so being able to distinguish between the two, because sometimes if your core values do no longer serve you and you're still dependent on them, there'll be a mismatch as you try to achieve your goals. And so I always want to help my clients understand this concept. And I talk a lot about it in my program where, our aging core values and the value dependent ones. And those value dependent ones are those the ones we want to carry those moving forward. And so just being able to understand those three concepts, like, first of all, understanding your energy type is so key. Like, what is your energy type? Like, how are you going to move forward with your goals if you don't really know what kind of energy type you embody? Like, what works for you? And then realizing what your aging core values are. And maybe you might even have to spend time, just take some time out and decide, okay, let me take a look at my aging core values. And are those the core values I want to have? Do I want to reevaluate them? Do I want to add some new ones? Do I want to make some changes? And find out the ones that are like you're dependent on, like, oh, no, it has to be this. But and I typically say like you probably have three dominant ones and just taking a look at them and seeing if your life really reflects that, because sometimes we have these core values in our brain that these are our aging core values, but then our life doesn't even reflect that, and there's a mismatch. They're not in alignment with what you want for your life. And I want women in their 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond really living life in full, in color, not that black and white stuff, not that diluted version of you, the full version of you, living life fully, where you are going after all the goals that you've set, you're achieving your childhood dreams, and you are able to live, like really live an expression of who you truly want to be. And I want you where you're getting to this point where at the end of your life, you'll be able to say, I did this, I did that. And you're like, yes, I did that, as opposed to thinking, oh, I wish I had done this. I mean, I've read so many books about end of life, and I'm telling you, the top regret most women have, or actually men and women, is they didn't live a life they truly wanted. And so I don't want you to fall into that. I want you to be able to say, yes, I did this, I did that. Like you're checking off all the boxes. That's what I want for you because I know it's possible. And the beautiful thing about living fully in that is you are able to live life. When you wake up in the morning, you're like, yeah, I'm living my life. And that's what I want for everyone. And it's not to say that you won't have obstacles, there won't be challenges. Listen, we all have those. That's a given. But there's a very different way in which you go through life when you're living your purpose. When you are living your purpose. And if you're listening and you're like, oh, I don't think I have a purpose, or how do I even figure out my purpose? I have a video that I just released. So go through my playlist. You'll see I have a video there that talks about how to find your purpose in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. So I recommend that and it's a very short, simple video with steps. So that will help you figure out what your purpose is. Because this is a thing. Everyone has a purpose. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise, oh, you don't have a purpose. We all do. All right. So I just wanted to come on, talk a little bit about this. I hope this was helpful. And I'm gonna be coming on once a week, do some YouTube lives, chat with you. And if you have questions, I really want to engage with you. So if you have questions, just kind of put them in there. Love to, love to, love to. And I'm going to let me put it. And so for those of you who are listening to this and you're like, Kwavi, I would really love to work with you. I would love to know more about how I could do some coaching with you. I want to achieve a goal and, I'd love to work with you. I encourage you to set up a sales call. And sales call, that's my process where I get to learn all about you and what you want to do. And based on that, I now give you a program. I tell you exactly how we're going to achieve that. And you get to decide if you think I'm a fit for you or not. So you can say, oh, Quavi, nope, that's not for me. But you get to learn how I work with my clients. All right. So if you're interested in that, please click on the link. I'm going to post that right now so that you can click on it and do that if you're interested. And, I'm just so excited. I'm going to be coming, like I said, I'm going to be doing this more often because, I haven't been doing it for a while, but I need to do more of this. So, all right, let me get the link for you. Okay, where is the link? Oh, okay, yeah, got it. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, let me pull it up. All right, let's see. Let me get it in here. Dun, dun, dun. Mm. Did it. Okay, so I just put that in there. And thank you so much for listening. You could have been doing anything with your time and you spent it with me. Truly appreciate it. All right, take care, everyone. Bye.